Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt and Bong with Natswag Media coming at you guys with another video. You guys already know what time it is. It's time to bring on that boxing. Today we're going to be talking about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Officially, they're saying that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence have begun to talk over the phone instead of the negotiation process kind of going through their team, so that they can kind of have a direct negotiation process as opposed to, things potentially getting lost in translation. So it's a good sign. I think that it's better that the guys, as men, they get to talk to each other on the phone, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and kind of hash it out. So now it's looking like Errol Spence and it's looking like Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, and then Terence Crawford and Alexis Rocha. And then at the end of the year, maybe, I guess, or towards the middle of the year, that's probably ideal, but maybe towards the end of 2023, we get Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. So Keith Thurman and probably Errol Spence would fight first, I think, and then it would probably be around the same time that Terence Crawford and Alexis Rocha would get it on. That would probably be a little bit after. So those are... I think Keith and Errol is more entertaining. I think that Terence and Rocha is going to be more one-sided, in my opinion, because Keith still has that explosive, that explosion ability, and I think that he has the experience on his side. Fought Manny Pacquiao. I feel like that's the best resume out of anybody. That's the best name on any of the guys' resumes, is the legend. So I think that Errol Spence probably stops Keith Thurman still at that point, but I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I think Keith is a tremendous fighter. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch, not only in the ring but outside of the ring. I think he's a very eloquent speaker and he knows how to sell a fight. But as far as the actual fight goes, I think he's definitely over the hill. I think that he's a little bit weak to the body, and I think Earl's just going to work him. I think he's going to work him. The work rate's going to be too much, especially for not being in the ring. Talking about Keith Thurman, he hasn't been in the ring in what? Has it been over a year? It might be over a year now since the Mario Barrio fights. Didn't look tremendous in that fight. Got hurt to the body there. Got hurt against Manny, but against Mario Barrios, who just moved up to 147, and you're fighting a guy like Keith. You're fighting a guy like Errol Spence after getting hurt by a guy like Mario Barrios, who just moved up to 147, and then fighting a guy like Errol Spence, who's basically ready to go to 154. I heard that fight might be at 154, so either way, you're getting a big Errol Spence in there. I just don't think it goes well for Keith. That's just my opinion. I still give Keith about a 25 to 30% chance that he pulls it off, but I don't think it's not very likely, in my opinion. Respect to him. I think that if we're talking about this fight, even just 3-4 years ago, I think it's a different story. But right now, I think everything is on Earl's side. So I'd probably go with, not probably, I'm definitely going with Errol in that fight. And I think a stoppage win too. I think he hurts Keith to the body. It becomes too much because we know how Earl's activity. He's just a busy fighter, and I see Keith getting beaten up by that jab, not having any answer for Earl's jab, and the work rate's just going to be too much. That southpaw stance is going to confuse Keith. It's going to have him backing up, and then he's just going to hurt him to the body. So that's what I think. In terms of the Terence Crawford and Alexis Rocha fight, I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen a lot of Alexis Rocha besides his last fight. What was the guy's name? George Ashe or whatever. Coming off a big knockout is Alexis Rocha. So is Terence Crawford coming off the win. The devastating knockout of David Abanesian. That was a good fight on BLK Prime. So I think that this is a good step in the right direction, but I've said it before, I don't really believe anything until I see the fight posters out and I see the guys, facing off in a press conference, and I see who's really promoting the fight, who's the guy that's separating them while they're facing off, who's the guy on the podium hyping the fight up and, promoting the fight, selling the fight to the people that are going to spend their well-earned money on the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight. So obviously we're not getting the fight when we wanted it, but hopefully we get it at the end or the middle towards the end of 2023, because I've been waiting for that fight. I'm being patient because I feel like every time we get our hopes up, this is my thing. I'm trying to stay patient for this fight because every time we get our hopes up, the fight gets yanked. So just stay patient. Don't get too excited because obviously nothing's really set in stone. So both guys signed that dotted line. Yeah, you really just can't be sure that the fight's really gonna happen. So I'm going into this with the mindset of you have to be patient. Don't get too excited because these guys they really do have to sign the dotted line before the fight can actually go down. And until we see the facing off of the fighters and we see the guys in training camps, it's not official. So Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, they're in talks. they're on the phone, stuff like that, maybe even as we speak. So it's a good sign that these guys are in actual communication, so maybe we can get a better and more clear story of what's going on and how much progress is being made in terms of the actual negotiation process towards the fight, because we all want to see Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. So we're hearing that they're on the phone talking to each other, so that's a good thing. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, 2023. Do we see it or do we not? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will keep you guys updated with any intel I get, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. That's going to do it for another Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Man Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.